It's R&R in the morning. Here on San Antonio Sports Star. We love Thursdays. Almost there. We welcome on the show RJ Ochoa, he of Blogging the Boys and Rock the Mic fame. Good morning, RJ. How are you today?
Question for you. I'm doing great, Rob. I have a question for you.
Yes,
did you first hear that song Sunroof on TikTok? Because I imagine so.
I frequent TikTok. Of course, I get all my new music from TikTok.
Okay. Well, I love corn then. If you are a TikToker, you know what that means.
Yes, I love corn. I don't say it like he did, but corn. Did you see where he got a whole, like the national, the corn board for whatever state he was in, signed him to basically an NIL deal?
That's a rough thing, like to be like, my favorite thing is something, because like if a brand figures that out, like you don't want a lot of stuff. Like as somebody who had a lot of Wingstop once upon a time, that's a good thing to have.
Yes, it is. Yes.
But like do you really want like a lifetime supply of corn? Like I don't need that much starch in my life.
Corn in a cup?
It depends on if they make it the proper way. According to my wife, she's a corn on the cup snob, and if you do it wrong, she'll never go back.
How are you guys on cream corn?
I love cream corn if it's done proper.
Rudy's cream corn?
Yeah, it's circumstantial, certainly.
Yeah,
it's got to be super sweet.
Yeah, like, and the corn on the cob, the more I think about it, like, that's what I was going to say when Rudy was like, I'll take all the corn. It's like, well, you got to, like, walk around with a toothbrush at that point.
There is that.
Like, you got to always be prepared. I don't want that.
Lawson.
RJ, I have a brand new water pick that can not only clean the stuff between your teeth, but can also take paint off and drown you in your bathroom if you're not careful.
Yeah, this guy, RJ, you know Rob. You've traveled with Rob. You know if something bad can happen. But let me ask you this, RJ. Only one can win a title for the rest of your life. Stros or the boys?
Look,
who are you taking? If there's only one team, only one team.
Well, we've already almost gone a lifetime with one of them.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm in love with the Houston Astros. I would, if I had to chop off my foot to win the Cowboys the Super Bowl, I'd find a way. You know, I mean, like that's the easiest. Plus, I mean, I would benefit from a career standpoint. Like it's all about me. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm being selfish here, let's get the Cowboys. You know, and that people talk about flags fly forever. A Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl flag would be made out of diamonds. I mean, it would be so fine. We would need Rob's water pick to clean the little, kind of crevices.
Shiny and new for sure. All right, let's talk about Zeke.
What's going on?
We've all seen the hit. It did not look good. If you're McCarthy and you're questioning it, do you play him this weekend, or knowing the bye is coming and the rest that's imminent, or is this game that important?
I mean, they're all important, obviously, right? Like it's a game in the NFL. We're not looking past the Bears, but like the Cowboys are fortunate that last week and this year are kind of like a glorified preseason.
Wow.
And so, well, look,
it's true.
Mean, let's be straight up, right? Like we're not here to mess around. This is R&R in the morning.
Okay.
You know, you want something soft, listen to the Blitz. You know what I mean? So, I think Bear agrees. It's a tough week for Bear, obviously, with the Cowboys and Bears and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I think you sit him, and I think you sit him. It allows him to rest up right before the bye, and it allows you to see what a full game workload for Tony Pollard's like. I mean, all the pros are in that category as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, your pass protection is a little bit weaker because Zeke is your better pass blocker. But I mean, like, I've always hated this argument. Like Zeke's primary job isn't to block. You know what I mean? Like that, Rob, that'd be like you saying, well, my water pick also does a great job cleaning my mirror. That's not its primary function.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. So then you want to sit him and then get the treatment for next week and then come back after the bye. That would be in the RJ's perfect world. That's how you'd play it.
Yeah, I mean, what's an easier game to win without Zeke if you just look at it this way? The Bears at home or the Packers on the road? Right? Like, I mean,
both are easy. The Packers stink.
Dude, not if you live this life. I mean,
the Giants and the Commanders beat them.
That's great. Aaron Rodgers beat them with one calf. I mean, Aaron Rodgers beat them on 3rd and 20. Like this is emotional scar tissue right here. I mean, this is why when we run through the hallway, we turn off the lights. You know what I mean? Like you can't overlook the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
And Dez caught it, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
What is the more significant injury? I mean, is of course Zeke, we're going to talk about it, but Jordan Lewis and Deron Bland and all that's going on the defensive side and slot cornerback, should be of more concern?
I know that there are like some Zeke stands out there, and my point isn't like Zeke is insignificant, Zeke doesn't matter, but it's probably Jordan Lewis.
I think
and
so.
A lot of people are like, oh, Deron Bland will step in, like he'll be fine. Okay, cool. The 5th round rookie will just be perfect, like all season long.
But
and I know he played well in lieu of Jordan, obviously against the Commanders. It's a big difference, and I'm not trying to say he sucks, but it's a big difference between, all right, dude, the game starts in 5 minutes, you got to go play nickel corner, and hey, Aaron Rodgers, you have a week to study, Deron Bland and figure out how to attack him specifically. Those are different things. And so I don't think there will be a massive drop off and they'll be like super weak and have this Achilles heel all of a sudden. But that is a much bigger drop off than Zeke or Tony Pollard.
now this Bears team that's a bye week, according to you, has 3 games where they've gained over. Rob thinks that's hilarious. You know what? I love y'all's attitude toward the Bears. Y'all got a lot of jokes, and it's cool. It's cool. But just keep in mind, bear with me. This is a team that has had 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 200-yard rushing games, and they lead the NFL in rushing at 181 yards a game. And that is the one pimple on Cinderella that is the Dallas Cowboys, RJ. So please explain to me why you feel like this is such a bye week.
I mean, if like, all those things are objectively true. For what it's worth, Football Outsiders, DVOA metric, the Cowboys rank 3rd as an overall team. The Chicago Bears rank 28th. The Cowboys rank 2nd. The Cowboys rank 2nd defensively, and just offensively, the Bears rank 31st.
RJ, don't come in here with your complex analytics that no one understands. They average 181 yards a game rushing. So you're getting complex.
The purpose of DVOA is to mitigate the garbage time, mitigate the quality of opponent, right? Like it's meant to sort of make things more efficient. And so nothing's perfect, nothing's flawless, nothing is infallible. But it is something that is, I think, more helpful context than something like that. No offense. Because again, like you can muddy the waters and that works both ways. Like, a lot of people are sitting here like, through 7 games last year, the Cowboys defense had 14 takeaways. Right now, through 7 games, they have 12. So people are like, oh, what's all this regression of the mean that you idiots were talking about? They had 5. They had 5 takeaways. So they had 5 of 12 last week. That inflates things a little bit. Their point differential, they're the 2nd best one in the NFL now. They won by 18 points this past week. You can inflate things with, big quarters, big balloons. So DVOA and things like that are meant to sort of equalize the playing field when it comes to analysis.
Now we're getting close to the trade deadline. What is it? Next November 1st or something like
Tuesday,
that?
Rob.
Yeah, November the 1st. I keep reading, blogging the boys, other places about maybe trading for an experienced wide receiver. Is that really something that you expect, or we just want?
I think it's fool's gold. It's hopeful wishing. And plus, I think there hasn't been. I'm surprised we haven't had like Odell liking Dak Instagram post. Right. He's a pretty smart guy. Knows how to get his name out there. Plus, I mean, Odell doesn't have to be traded for. He's a free agent. But like the Cowboys aren't trading for DJ Moore or something like that. I can't believe that I think this, but I think they just have to roll with what they've got. I mean, there's a potential ceiling on it, a low one, but you can make an argument that this offense is still figuring it out, right? Like Dak's still getting healthy, right. Michael Gallup's still getting healthy. CD's played like half of his Cowboys career without Dak Prescott. Dalton Schultz is still coming along, getting healthy himself. James Washington's got to get healthy. Dak was the biggest Jalen Tolbert fan, and so while Tolbert has really been unable to mostly get in uniform, maybe the presence of Dak Prescott helps there. So you can kind of argue that, and I can kind of accept that as opposed to saying you got to get on the phone with the Panthers right now and bring in DJ Moore.
Dude, I don't think I'm going to apologize to you, but I'm going to tip my cap to you. I saw the play broken down on the goal line. DeMarcus Lawrence splits a double team, takes on the tight end, hits the running back, fumble, all that in one play. And again, this is something I asked you about, I asked McCarthy about, because the sacks aren't there. But that play right there kind of let me know that, okay, you and Mike McCarthy aren't just blowing smoke at me. Like, he is actually doing things that you really have to pay attention to, away from the ball, away from sacks, that really making a difference on the team. And you could argue they don't win the game if he doesn't make that play.
Well, first of all, I think you're blowing smoke, Rudy. I know the radio audience didn't see this, but you didn't tip your cat. You literally said, "I'm going to tip my cat."
I can't tip. I'll take my headphones off, RJ. Come on, dog. Work with me, bro.
I would have.
It wasn't the Jeter. It wasn't the kid, the Jeter. But there you go. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, like Sacks have never told the story with DeMarcus Lawrence. And people are sitting here like, well, Dorrance Armstrong, look at him. He's better than Tank. Randy Gregory years ago. No, like, I mean, there is a lot to being an elite run defender, and that's what DeMarcus Lawrence is, in addition to obviously being somebody who can get after the quarterback. And I think that's why, like, yesterday, you got all these Cowboys fans who are so insecure. They're like, Robert Quinn, he only has 1 sack this year. It's like, have you not learned that you can't tell the whole story with one thing like that? And I'm not saying that he's DeMarcus Lawrence or anything like that, but it's not something that you can just look at it and like it's an end-all be-all measurement. I mean, I would say DeMarcus Lawrence is. You can make an argument for the second most important player defensively. You said you can make an argument they don't win. They might lose that game. And like I would like to have seen Dak Prescott kind of have to come back in the fourth quarter, but like the calculus of everything significantly changes if they're trailing in that moment instead of having to go 99 yards.
So yes, I'll let Rob have it. But yeah, that Robert Quinn pickup for Philly is huge. I don't care what Dallas fans says about the 1 sack. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, let's talk about pickups. Tell us about Hankins. Why?
Yes.
Is that an admission of weakness? Is it in reaction to DA being hurt? I mean, what does Hankins do for this DL other than add another body?
Rob and I had to Google him. So help us.
Have you spelt it right? It's Jonathan with an H. That's always a difficult like curveball.
It doesn't make sense to me. Why is that there?
Why is that there?
I agree.
Jonathan.
Like if your name is John, use the H. It's like, and when people go without the H for John, like, what are you doing? Like, there's rules here. But I mean, they needed a big boy. They needed a big run-stopping, defensive tackle, plug the middle. And is he the best in the NFL at that? No. But they gave up a 6th-round pick, right? Like, I love that. I love attacking the need. I love doubling down. Neville Gallimore hasn't been that guy. Kind of, this is Osa Odigizua-esque. You need that run stopper. For what it's worth, again, not a perfect level of analysis or assessment, but Pro Football Focus has him graded better against the run this season than any Cowboys defensive tackle except for Tristan Hill. So literally better at that one thing. And so I'm a fan of that. I mean, it feels similar to the Cowboys trading for Michael Bennett 3 years ago, just in that vein. But it's low cost, high reward, fills a need. Great job. I mean, we should all tip our caps. I don't have one, so I can't literally do it. But Stephen Jones, he pulled it up.
We talked about it yesterday for a minute. Will McClay has an eye for defensive linemen. He's good. He's a good judge, and I'll throw the Taco Charlton draft out. But everything else, the pickups, I appreciate when they go get him. For the most part, they've been relatively successful. Quinn was one of those pickups that came through that worked out quite well.
Yeah, and he was a trade. I mean, they traded for him. They've been connected to him for a long time, and that they flipped into a compensatory pick when he got the big deal from the Chicago Bears that just traded him away. They do have an eye for edge rushers. They refuse to spend on defensive tackles. I mean, this is an NFL that Aaron Donald dominates, that Fletcher Cox has dominated this division before, and they just throw 3rd-round picks. They threw a 2nd-round one at Tristan Hill, but I mean, you need those. Somebody's got to do the dirty work. Not everybody's good at it. And Neville Gallimore looked fine, but it's kind of fallen out of favor it seems at the plate.
I like this team because I think it could be good. And I feel like I'm more comfortable with a defensive team in December, RJ. So I think they could do something special. How many games does the Stros win this World Series in? Rob thinks 5. Pledge thinks sweep. What do you think?
I mean, I think there's a level of humility that's necessary here, right? Phillies are a good team. I think 5. And I think, I have a lot of Philadelphia followers just because of the Cowboys-Eagles thing. And they might be the most irrational. Because like they're telling me like the Astros have never seen a crowd like they're going to see in Philadelphia.
What?
You're right. They have no idea what a volatile crowd looks like. They weren't just in the mecca of hatred for them, and they didn't just pull out. And they're like, you don't get the Phillies haven't lost a game at home this whole postseason. Okay, the Astros haven't lost a game at all this postseason. So I will say Astros in 5. Whatever, fine. Maybe you get a win, you make it cute, you make things last a little bit longer. But if it's a sweep, that'd be sick. I think like the ride the perfection ride has to end somewhere, so they can't sweep everybody. So I'll say Astros in 5, and they win both at Houston though.
11-0, baby. We're going into record books here.
Crazy.
He is RJ Ochoa. He's already in the record book. Stops by every week. Make sure you're reading all his stuff, and everybody else is there blogging the boys. Like I always say, how can you call yourself a Cowboy fan if you're not following blogging the boys? RJ, take care of yourself. Stay safe. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate you, my guy.
I hope you all eat some chicken Alfredo.
That sounds like a plan to me.